Hey, this is Mr. Soy. This video is to help students who are still struggling a little bit with recursive and explicit formulas as they relate to sequences. So I'm going to do an example and walk you through both formulas in detail. So I'm given a sequence here, 2, 5, 8, 11, 14, etc., etc., etc. My first step is either to identify a common difference. That would mean it would be an arithmetic sequence, or a common ratio, in which case it would be a geometric sequence. So the way that I do that is I'm going to look at subsequent terms and I'm going to see what the difference is, and that will check first to see if there's a common difference. So I take my next term, 5, I will subtract 2 from that, and I get a difference of 3. Then I'm going to take 8, subtract 5, and again I get a difference of 3. And I can keep doing that as I go. 11 minus 8, difference of 3. And then finally 14 minus 11, difference of 3. And each of these is increasing, so it's going to be a positive 3. So I now know that I have a arithmetic sequence, and therefore I'm going to come up with a recursive and explicit formula that is essentially linear. I've got a constant rate of change. Each time I'm adding 3 to the current number to get the next number. All right, let's take a look first at recursive. Recursive isn't exactly a super useful formula that we use, but it is interesting in the sense that you can't get the next value until you have the current value. And so it's much harder to actually find a value far down the line in our sequence if we're just starting at the beginning. But here's the basic idea. I need some sort of starting point in my formula, and that could be a sub 0, a sub 1, it doesn't really matter, a sub 3. By general convention, we usually start at a sub 1. We can also start at a sub 0, meaning the first term, because then, or the 0 term, because that would then give me my y-intercept. So let me label these up here so you can see exactly what I mean by the term. This one is a sub 1, a sub 2, a sub 3, a sub 4, a sub 5, and so on and so forth. That's just labels for which term I'm looking at. If I wanted a sub 0, well then I would have to go backwards from a sub 1 to find that. And I could easily do that because 2 minus 3, so I have to go backwards, it would be basically negative 1. So if I wanted a sub 0, and we will need that for our explicit formula. Okay. So I'm going to use a sub 1 as my starting point for my recursive formula. And you always have to have this starting value. So it's 2. Now, the recursive formula piece that tells me what I do next to get the next number in my sequence always starts out as the following. A sub n plus 1 is equal to a sub n. So think about it. N plus 1 means it's the next one in my sequence, and then a sub 1 is the current one I'm at. And then I just simply add 3 to it. And so I can easily generate now our sequence simply by following the formula. For example, a sub 2 would be equal to, well, the formula says I take a sub n, which is my starting value, in this case a sub 1, and I'm going to put that, and then I'm just going to add 3 to it. That's what the formula says to do, and I end up with 5. And indeed, a sub 2 is 5. And then a sub 3, well, again, I take the current one, which we just found, which is a sub 2, or 5, and then I just add 3 to that, and I would end up with 8, and I can keep going and generate the sequence that way. That's why we need a starting point, because we need to know where we're going to begin so that we can generate the sequence. You can obviously see the problem with this when we're trying to find something like a sub 100. Well, if I only start at 1, that's going to take me a while to keep adding 3 until I get to a sub 100. And that's where the explicit formula really shines, because it allows me to find a sub 100 directly. So let's take a look at the explicit formula. Well, the explicit formula, to put it none too lightly, is really pretty much y equals mx plus b. But that's a linear equation, and we're not looking at an equation. We're looking at something that generates individual values, essentially a sequence. Well, nonetheless, it's still about the same. And the way that we do it is we write a sub n, meaning the next term I want, where n can be any number, like a sub 100, n could be 100. Well, that's going to be equal to essentially my a sub 0 plus my common difference d, and we found it up here. D is equal to 3. And I multiply that by n. In other words, if I'm looking for a sub 100, well, n is 100, therefore I would multiply by 100. Let's do an example. If I wanted a sub, let's say 20, then I plug in a sub 0. Well, we already found a sub 0 up here. We went backwards, we found it, and that is negative 1. And then I'm going to simply add to that my common difference d, which is 3, multiplied by n. Well, n is 20 because we're trying to find a sub 20. 20. And now I can just do the math here. Negative 1 plus 60. And so I end up with a value of 59. And so if I want to know what the 20th term in this sequence is, my explicit formula allows me to get it directly. And in this case, the 20th term would be 59. Hope this explains recursive and explicit formulas for you. Thanks.